Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2009 BMW 328i xDrive. Up front is a 3.0 liter inline 6, and down below is a 6-speed manual transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this 328i xDrive for two reasons. It's all-wheel drive and it's manual. It's a relatively rare option. All-wheel drive manual cars are kind of hard to come by, especially in today's market. But BMW made this, and it's not well known. I didn't even know that you could get these in manual until making this video, and so we're going to do a thorough review of it. I'm going to walk you through the whole car and give some final thoughts at the end. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month, as well as there's exclusive audio content. But let's get back to that inline 6 under the hood. Well, it's a pretty bread and butter engine. It's the N52. It's non-turbo. It's really simple, although it does still deliver that 6-cylinder goodness that you're looking for. It has more torque and more get-around oomph than a 4-cylinder would have had. So that's what I've always liked about it. BMW straight 6s always feel very refined in the way that they drive, and that's the exact story that you get here in the 328i. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed manual transmission. It's fantastic. Now, it does have very BMW-y characteristics, meaning the shifter's a little bouncy, the clutch is a little bit heavier than like an import, but definitely not as heavy as American clutches. But it's very good. It's very solid. It gives you a very confident shifting feel, which is, again, what I look for when I'm driving a manual car. Last but not least, as I mentioned, this is the xDrive model, meaning it is all-wheel drive. And xDrive is a pretty good system. However, if you are looking to lower the vehicle, you're going to have an issue. It's pretty hard to lower the all-wheel drive as opposed to just rear-wheel drive ones. So if you do want to be a stance boy and eat crayons for breakfast, you can't really do that here in the xDrive, so I would look elsewhere. How does it feel to drive the 328i xDrive with the manual? Feels good. It is a more normal driving experience than what I might be used to with other certain BMW products. This was just a car, and I miss that middle ground. We're getting ahead of myself. I'll save that for the final thoughts. It drives good, visibility is good, and I like it. It gives that premium feel while still having a stick shift. And I like that a lot. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 gauges. Off to the left is my speedometer as well as fuel, and off to the right is my tachometer as well as an MPG gauge. The BMW has done this all the way back to the 1980s with the E30 generation. On the steering wheel on the left, we have volume, voice commands, and phone options, and off to the right, we have our CD, skip track, and recirculating. Very nice to get that on the steering wheel. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent as well as our headlight switch and fog light switch. And moving on to the door, we have a speaker, power mirrors, power windows. Moving into the center, what you'll notice is that there's no giant screen. I really like this. There's no iDrive here in the car, which is my preferred BMW experience because I think iDrive is terrible. But it's nice, clean, and simple. I really like that. We have the hazard switch, a central locking, and DTC button down below with 2 climate vents. And we have the ignition. Kind of interesting is that you get a key fob. You don't actually have like an actual physical key. However, you still have to put it into the dash in order to start the car. So it's like it was almost keyless start, but not quite. Down below, we do have our BMW professional radio. No amateur hour here. Dual zone climate down below with all of the rest of our climate controls. I do have heated seats, part of the cold weather package. And I, surprisingly enough, have hill descent control. I know it's all-wheel drive, but I feel like this is a little unnecessary. Off to the right, we do have cup holders that come out of the dash. They failed the big freaking bottle test, and I'm not going to try to put the bottle in there because these are notorious for breaking. So here's the big freaking bottle next to it and a still functioning cup holder as a result. We also do have a little cubby The shifter, I think the shifter looks and feels good. Really, really enjoy its presence here. And it does have that premium appearance. When I take this swooping shot, you might think that we're at Cars and Coffee in Fontana Springs, California. But no, I'm in Peoria, the Cleveland of Illinois. Then we do have a little cubby down below for sunglasses and whatnot, parking brake, and the center console. The seats are leather, they are heated, and they're warming my bottom here today, which is very, very kind of them. And they're big guy friendly. I fit in here, they're not any crazy M seats, they're not Vaders, they're not anything like that. These are just normal person seats, and I enjoy them. So, there's that. Speaking of seats, however, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2009 BMW 328i xDrive with a stick shift and a couple of things to note. First of all, I fit back here fine. Headroom good, knee room good. It's fine. If you want a bigger car, stop being broke and buy a 5 Series. Problem solved! I'm just kidding. Everyone's financial situations are different and it's nothing to joke about, but there are 5 Series available if you would like a bigger chassis vehicle. But this one ain't that. 2 climate control vents down here. We do have a center console. Do you think it'll have cup holders? I don't know, but it started rattling. I think these would be cup holders. I don't think they want to come out. Okay, the rattling stopped. I'm going to leave that there. Here's the back seat of a 328i xDrive from 2009 during the financial recession. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, around the back of the 328i xDrive, pop the trunk here and lift it up like that, and there's the trunk. Nothing really too crazy to write home about. I do like that BMW has this sort of premium feeling interior trunk liner. I've always thought that that was a nice touch, but I don't think I've ever brought it up on camera. So I get to bring it up here today. It has a nice interior trunk liner. I think it's relatively spacious. And again, you can go up to the 5 Series, but it might not be necessary in a car like this. Love to see that. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and it's fine. I like this era of BMW. Now, in hindsight, this actually seems like very reserved and modern and just nice, as opposed to some of their newer products, I should say. But I don't think it's like this any crazy wild styling. My hair isn't being blown back, and my socks are still on my feet. So I like it. Again, reserved, normal, and that's been the ethos of the entire vehicle. So let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the all-wheel drive stick shift BMW 328i? It's good. It's fine. I like it. Here are a couple downsides. First of all, I'm not over the moon about the shifter feel. I think it's good, but I don't think it's the best I've ever felt. And again, I'm lukewarm on the styling. It doesn't really move my emotions in any certain direction. Not that it necessarily has to. Where this car really succeeds is kind of in the middle ground, actually. It's not super sporty. It's not super economical. It's not the most luxurious thing I've ever driven, but it does the middle ground very, very well. It's responsive with its manual transmission and 6-cylinder. I have nice wood grain, heated leather seats, soft touch materials where I'd want them. The stick shift gives me a sense of sportiness and a sense of connection with the car, but it's not this crazy track-derived stick shift. It's just a stick shift. It has all-wheel drive, not necessarily to carve up a rally stage, but to help out in inclement weather. And so while it might be the master of none, it's solid everywhere else. And that's what I miss. I miss that availability in the car market. I was just talking to a buddy about this. Pause for an old Pontiac. Heck yeah. I was just talking about this to someone else. The soft sports cars have kind of gone away from our market. If you want a sporty stick shift car today, you have the GR86, which is great, but you're gonna have to live with a tiny, tiny coupe. You have the Subaru WRX. The one I'm showing now is $44,000 for a non-premium vehicle. There's the Mazda 3, but you can only get the stick shift in the basically base model. What we've truly lost, because I don't think the manual transmission will ever go away, what we've really lost is the casual manual transmission for someone that likes to row their own gears but hasn't formed their personality or morphed their life around it. When you drive a GR86, you have to make your life work with a GR86. You cannot be in the lumber business. You can barely have one friend. If you can have one friend in a GR86, you'll be set, but a second friend, and it's gonna be terrible. The Mustang, if you want the stick shift, you're gonna have to put up with Mustang issues. Your wrists are gonna break as you try to steer away from crowds. You could get a Tacoma in stick shift, but A, I've heard it's terrible, I haven't driven it yet, but B, it's hardly a lifestyle-friendly vehicle. That's what this car is good at. This is Chili's. This is Outback Steakhouse with the bloomin' onion. It's casual, but I don't think anyone would ever say, hey, you know, that Outback Steakhouse is my favorite in the whole world. It's not that special. And this car isn't special. But that's okay, because not every day has to be a special day. You have to have off days. You have to have gloomy days. You have to have quiet days. And so this BMW isn't good 1 day, 5 days, or 10 days a year. This car is good 365 days a year. And in order to be like that, you have to give up some scarcity, rarity, and sportiness. But I'm okay with that, because any day I'm behind the wheel of a BMW, ain't so bad as the last one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Tristan, and Tristan only, for letting me borrow his BMW 328i for today's video. He has been absolutely wonderful to work with. I also reviewed 2 of his other vehicles here today, a Legacy and an RSX Type S. So I appreciate him having me down here to Peoria, although I have to say I'm glad I don't live here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.